Right behind me is 125th Street, one of the most iconic corridors in Harlem, a place rich with culture, history, legacy, and for generations, home. But for far too many New Yorkers, today home is no longer where you work. It's no longer where you grew up. And increasingly, it's nowhere near where you can afford to live. That's why we're launching End of the Line, Housing Survival in New York City. This isn't a conference. This isn't a panel. It's not another report filled with statistics. It's a 10-month immersive transit-based journey across New York City and beyond, tracing how far working New Yorkers must travel just to survive. Every day, nurses, teachers, transit workers, service workers, and essential workers have to wake up before sunrise, not because they want to, but because they have to. Because the only housing that they can afford is no longer in the neighborhoods where they serve. So they commute from the Bronx, from Queens, from Staten Island, from Long Island, and even from Westchester. What is that taking away from? That's taking away time from your family, from building community, from being able to rest, because that's a 2-hour commute each way. And that's a huge cost. And so they're losing time of being able to live. But this is the opportunity, when we talk about End of the Line, uses the city's transportation system as both a method and a metaphor. Over the 10 months, we will travel across all 5 boroughs and into Westchester County using the same trains and ferries that thousands rely on every day. And so we'll move through Harlem and Brooklyn brownstones. We'll go from Queens row houses. We're gonna go through Bronx walk-ups and Staten Island communities and suburban developments in Long Island and Westchester. So you can get a flavor of what's happening in these communities, because at every stop, we'll examine not just what architecture looks like, but access, not just housing, but the history, and not just rent, but reality. We'll unpack redlining. We'll talk about zoning decisions, development patterns, and the policies that have quietly shaped who gets to stay and who gets pushed further out. And so we're inviting you to this process with us. But this is where all this stuff gets to make a difference. You're not just going to hear about housing inequity, you get to experience it. You'll get to ride the trains with us. You'll get to feel the distance. You'll get to walk the blocks with us. You'll get to listen to the residents. And you'll just get to sit in the community conversations, because we are centering the voices of the lived experiences that people have had, because housing affordability is too often discussed in spreadsheets instead of stories. And it's the stories that move people. This tour is for policymakers. It's for artists. It's for students. It's for journalists. It's for those who are developers. And it's for community members. Over the course of 10 months, we'll host guided tours, walking dialogues, artist-led interpretations, public forums, and storytelling documentations that are through writing and photography and audio. We are creating a living archive of housing survival in New York City that's happening right now. So the question isn't whether there's a housing crisis. The question is, what does it feel like to live at the end of the line? So what happens when the workforce that powers this city can no longer afford to live within it? What kind of city are we building, and for whom? And so ride with us, walk with us. And you know what? Learn with us, because this is an opportunity to partner with us. So if you are an organization, a funder, or a sponsor who believes in equitable development, join us. This is an opportunity to support an experimental model that bridges research for storytelling and civic engagement.